We should interview Colonel Black. Okay.
You have just unlocked the door to the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound and of sight. You are moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of offense and defense. You have just crossed over into the Irish Bill Sports Zone.
Irish Bill Sports broadcast of Navarre Raider football. Here's your host and the voice of Raider Nation, Irish Bill. And here come the Raiders.
Welcome to Buffalo Wild Wings and the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. This is week 7.
Dang.
7. Lucky 7.
Lucky. Oh, yeah. Oh, I like
District game this Friday night in week 7. Mm-hmm. The Raiders could go to 2-0 in district, which would set up a big matchup in a couple of weeks against that team to the north, the Pace Patriots.
And
is it north or kind of northwest?
No,
Here we go with direction.
Northwest.
We are directionally challenged.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And, I mean, a win, help me with the math. I'm a Seminole, carry the 1. Yeah. Would that guarantee us playoff?
Playoff. I think we got to go 3-0.
Okay.
To be in the playoffs.
Well, let's go 3-0.
2-4 right now. That would put us
in the cat
win this week, win next week, win 3 weeks in a row. That would be called a
winning streak.
Thanks, Coach. Coach Brown.
I've got a set of white walls on line 2. I'll get back with you.
On line 2? Station 2, line 2, who cares? Well, anyways, this is Seminole Bob. We missed you last night, Bob.
I appreciate that. I was broadcasting or announcing for the stadium announcer. I was the Paul Villanova part east.
2?
Yeah. 2. Emerald Coast Middle School.
Did they win?
They did. 36-0 over Walton Middle.
Can you say shutout?
What do they say in soccer when the goalie is it
nil?
Nil, but they
the pitch is a clean game.
Clean sheet.
Clean sheet. That's right.
Clean sheet.
Be careful how you say that.
Sheet. Yeah. So congratulations, Coach Dan Bump and the Stingrays of Emerald Coast. That's where I was.
But did you see we were in a different spot last night?
Yeah.
I got to Culver's of Navarre last night, and the place was packed. It was Pride. It was
Raider night.
Raider night.
Yep.
And it was packed, so I had to find the first table that was empty. So
lucky you weren't outside.
Right next to the bench, looking at the counter, was where we were at, just on the other side, and so that's where we. Well, our goal is to do a broadcast from every spot. We're not going back in the kitchen. That's out.
But hopefully the weather will cool down enough in the next week or two where we can actually do the broadcast from outside.
Oh, Bill, I walked the dog this morning early.
Walk the dog?
Walked the dog. I had a yo-yo, and it was
I used to be able to do that.
Yeah, walk the dog,
Yeah.
shoot the moon. It was a little nice. 68.
Yeah, I got up this morning, went to work out with Marty Wilson, father of Josh Wilson.
Yep.
Not that Josh Wilson, but the Navarre Raider Josh Wilson.
That's right.
And we may have a surprise guest tonight.
I heard.
Andy Villamarzo. He had to get out of town because you
Yeah.
know it's barreling into Tampa and
it's already
Sarasota.
there.
It's already there.
It's already
So
there.
Andy may join us tonight. So there may be an Andy Villamarzo sighting here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. He came up once last year for the Navarre and Niceville game.
Sure did. Yep.
And he's always great. He's doing great things, not for only high school sports in the state of Florida. He basically has the southeast and all the way up the East Coast, and that is one busy man.
Well, he could talk sports, and he's a hurricane evacuee,
Yeah.
and write it off. Business.
There you go.
Business.
You're always thinking, aren't you?
Ah, man, I tell you, thank God. Huh? It's good to see you, Bill Ham.
Well,
Good to
yeah,
see
you too.
Yep.
We got some big games this week.
Yep.
And I'm going to go over all the games that are going to be played this week. We got a couple tomorrow night: West Florida at Bay, Choctaw at Rickards. Friday night, Crestview coming over to Navarre, a huge district matchup Friday
Exactly.
night.
Yep.
The Raiders back home for 3 of their last 4 games.
Thank goodness.
I'm tired. I'm tired of driving.
I'm tired. Yeah.
And the big one over in Panama City Friday night, 7 o'clock kickoff. Both teams 6-0. Niceville going over and playing off and facing Mosley. That should be a great game. Mosley took them out, was it 2 years ago? They upset them. And they went for a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, knocked off Niceville. Then we go over to Pace Friday, another big game. Tate traveling to Pace Friday night. Milton at Gulf Breeze, Booker T. Washington at Pine Forest. So Brady will be at home. Well, not at home. He'll be at Pine Forest on Friday night. Then next Saturday, we're heading to Atlanta for the Notre Dame Georgia Tech game.
Rambling wreck of Georgia Tech, a heck of an engineer.
You know any more words than that?
Yeah, but I can't. I can't say. They better not be looking ahead.
No. Well, they got Stanford this week.
Yeah.
That's not Sanford. That's Stanford. Fort Walton Beach at Arnold Friday night. I believe that's a district matchup there. Walton at Catholic. That's going to be I think a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
But I think Catholic will outscore them there. South Walton at Freeport. Lincoln at Childs. Gadsden County at Florida High should be a really good game. Leon at Mariana. That train keeps rolling down the track. Godby at Wakulla. Rutherford at North Bay Haven. Baker at Zion Chapel, Alabama. Northview at Jay. Holmes County at Vernon. Bluntstown at Dixie County. Liberty County facing another train going down the track, Cottondale. Franklin County at Weewa. Lighthouse at Osceola Christian. That's a road trip for them over there over to Monticello.
Yonder.
Are they in Monticello or are they
Monticello?
Cello? I like to say cello.
Okay.
Isn't that the thing that they hold up and you play?
Yep.
I have no musical talent whatsoever.
I
So
can tell.
yeah, I know. I'm not going to argue with that point either.
Yo Ma plays the cello, I think.
Chipley at North Florida Education Institute, wherever that's at. I think that's is that in Jacksonville or
Yeah.
Kane?
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Exactly.
FAMU at North Florida Christian, a battle of 2 teams going down the wrong track. St. John Paul II at McClay. Raines at Madison County. Madison County is not afraid to play anybody because Raines is one of the top 10 teams in the state.
Yeah, and we'd have to ask the coach for sure, but that game may have been scheduled a couple years in advance, and Raines, like you said last night on the Culver show, one of the top teams in the state. They're 6-0, and So, yeah, that's going to be a
Then we
classic,
got
another classic
Spring
game.
Creek Charter out of Georgia heading over to Niceville to face off with the Rocky Bayou, and Taylor County heading to Chiefland. Those are games on Thursday and Friday night this week. We picked them, but we're not going to talk about that tonight because we talked about it last night. So what we are going to talk about now is the Gulf Coast Gulf South Conference and the SIAC conferences. Their play last week, Week 6 results. Valdosta State over Shorter 59-6. They got the shorter end of the stick again. Erskine at West Alabama was postponed because Erskine could not get out of South Carolina.
Yeah.
I believe they're South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina.
North Greenville beat Benedict 38-21. West Florida over Mississippi College 31-0. Delta State over Chowan, the new shorter of the Gulf South Conference, 54-9. This week's schedule, shorter at Chowan. Hey, it's the battle of
Who cares?
who cares?
Sorry.
West-
I didn't mean that.
West Alabama at Mississippi College. Delta State at West Florida should be a big matchup. I think that's homecoming this week for
It
West
is.
Florida.
Yep.
And Valdosta State against North Greenville. Valdosta just every year just continues to dominate the Gulf South Conference. But there's their Gulf South Conference on the year. Valdosta State 5-0, West Alabama 4-0, Delta State 4-1, North Greenville and West Florida 2-2, Chowan 1-3, Erskine 1-3, and Mississippi College is 0-5. Over to the SIAC. We got a big battle this week. Albany State and Miles College, both teams 3-0. The only two teams undefeated in conference play in the SIAC, and they will face off at Miles College this Saturday.
Birmingham. Where
Birmingham,
they love the
Alabama.
governor.
Week 6 results: Kentucky State 24-20 over Lane. Tuskegee 42-0 over Morehouse. Savannah State knocks off Clark Atlanta 35-28, their first loss of the season. Fort Valley State over Edward Waters 48-14. North Greenville over Benedict, we already mentioned. Miles College over Central State in a low-scoring affair 16-7. And Albany State over Allen, South Carolina 57-17. This week's schedule: Clark Atlanta at Central State, which is up in Wilberforce, Ohio, just outside of Dayton. And Benedict at Kentucky State, which is up in the state capital of Kentucky, Frankfort. Allen at Fort Valley State. Tuskegee at Lane. Lane plays in Jackson, Tennessee, named after Andrew Jackson. A little bit of history lessons tonight, Bob. Albany State at Miles College, and Lincoln University at Savannah State. There's your matchups, your SIAC. Like I said, Albany State and Miles College both 3-0. And they face off this weekend to see who's got going to 4-0 in the SIAC playing and headed in the right direction for maybe a conference title game.
I would have thought that maybe they could possibly have already done that. Valdosta State's got quite an alumni base. Valdosta State moving up.
Well, they lost one team to moving up this past year. West Georgia is moving up to FCS.
Right.
They're moving up to Division I AA.
Why Valdosta State? It's not just this year. They've been a powerhouse for a number of years.
And their high school program, one of the all-time winningest high school programs in the country. I believe they have over 900 wins in the history of their football program. Not too many schools can state that fact.
I think Coach Jay Wall's got his coaching start there at Valdosta.
He actually played at Valdosta State,
yep.
and he was a GA.
Yep.
His last, I believe, for a couple of years before he got his first coaching job with Coach Larry Olson at Crestview High as an assistant coach before he moved on to Sewanee and got his first head coaching job for Sewanee. And then went up to Tift County in Georgia, who they played a couple weeks ago, and Tift County beat them. And then to Navarre for 12 years. And
he's having a tough year this year. They're 0-7.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's always tough. That's a great program they have up there at Bainbridge. The history behind that school.
Oh, yeah.
Head coach Kirby Smart went to Bainbridge High School. Our good friend, the Georgia dog, graduated from Bainbridge as well. And
they just have so many good high schools around there. It's tough.
Georgia dog told me a story how he faced off against Ray Knight. You remember Ray Knight?
Do.
He married
Nancy
Lopez. He was out of that Georgia area as well. But a lot of great talent there in southern Georgia. But we got a great show tonight. Coach Brandon Lawson is going to be joining us. We're going to have a couple of defensive backfield studs, Bryce Moore and Cooper Black. And then we're going to bring on Jack Byer.
That's right.
The place kicker last week in the Raiders game. He'll be our last one on tonight. But it's going to be a great show until we're going to go out for a commercial break, and then we'll be back with Coach Brandon Lawson.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let our team member Sandy share how Culver's is serving up Celebration by the Scoop.
Our rich and creamy fresh frozen custard makes every day a little bit sweeter. Enjoying a handcrafted treat with all the ooey gooey toppings you love? Now that's worth celebrating.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a sweet treat to make every moment count. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. A buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322.
Sometimes all you need to change your life is a sign. Like an actual sign that's like above you. And no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. It's like they made beer into a place and gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, the best. Marty! You're dead weight! Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus. Let's go sports bar!
Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Grubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you. The Hustle isn't named after anyone, not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The Hustle is real. The Hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear, you can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com and I can guarantee you will not be disappointed. Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track. Well, they're seeing to it that they are properly fed, have good transportation, or making sure that all Raider fans can hear all the exciting Navarre Raider football action. The Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishBillSports.com.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. Our next guest needs no introduction, but he does need a little bit of a drum roll, please. Your Navarre defensive backs coach. Am I right? Yeah, I got that right? Yeah. Brandon Lawson, you know what? I was thinking the other day, I've been around Navarre since 91, the first couple of years of program.
Yes, sir.
And I actually remembered you from the 2005 season.
Yep.
That's when you graduated in 06, correct?
Graduated in 06, yes, sir.
And we'll turn your mic up just a little bit. If you can get to Michael just a little bit closer.
That better?
Yeah, much better.
All right, cool. Yeah, graduated in 2006.
And that same year, that fall, Coach Garrett Bagley comes in as
That's
an
right.
assistant coach. So your paths kind of crossed, you going out the door and him coming in the door.
Yes, sir.
And now you're back together working with him as the head coach. How has that experience been this year?
Oh, it's been great. Been working with him for a long time, but kind of going back to 2006 is really when it started to change, like my heading out my senior year, and I think Coach Bagley was a big reason that we started having a lot of success at Navarre.
Coach Larry Olson?
Yeah, Coach Olson.
Great guy.
Man, just learned everything in the world from that guy. But brought in Coach Bagley and I think changed the defensive staff a little bit, and they brought in a mentality that we didn't have while I was there, and then that's really when it started, I think, turning it around and having the success that we've
you had one holdover with Coach Greg Taylor. It seemed like he had been there since his inception.
Yeah.
He just retired a couple of years ago, but you always have to have that one coach that is there to keep things going in the right direction.
And again, I've been very lucky to coach under some really good coaches. You mentioned Coach Olson and of course Coach Walls, but defensive coordinators I've been under. With Coach Taylor, that's where I started my coaching career with him as the defensive coordinator, and I coached corners at the time and learned a lot from him. He was a secondary coach. He was my football coach when I was in playing football, and he was my baseball coach, and so I learned a lot from Coach Taylor, and still learning from him today. I see him in the hallways, and we're always talking. And then of course Coach Bagley has been huge with everything I've been able to learn from him. So, again, just an interesting year being, defense coordinator, kind of taking the next step up, and calling plays is new, but it's been fun. It's been enjoyable.
Well, what also helps that is the players that you had coming back from the 23 season.
Yeah, without a doubt. When you look at all of the playmakers that we brought back on defense and the way that they've stepped up this year too, defensively. We've been pretty strong. We've got guys like Gasca, who makes plays on the defensive line. We got Vinny and Spence at linebacker. Probably have the best linebacking core in the area. Those guys are just constantly making plays for us. And then of course my seniors in the secondary that I brought tonight with me, Bryce Moore and Cooper Black, who just have just kind of made their way. Starting from freshman year and just kind of working and building and getting stronger and faster and earn their way onto the field and have made huge plays for us this year.
Cooper had a big game against Tate in the return game. He said those were the first 2 returns he's ever had in a game. And I tell you, it didn't look like it because he knew what to do once he got the ball. And he set you guys up in great field position. I mean, Bryce, he's kind of a quiet guy.
Oh, yeah.
But it seems like I called his name a lot during a game.
Well, I call him Coach Bryce because he's a coach on the field. He's a coach off the field. He probably watches as much film as I do. He texts me all the time with questions about what's going on, and he sees some things that I don't see, and it helps a lot having a kid like that on the football field that can help you make adjustments and kind of see things that that a normal high school player doesn't see. He had some injuries earlier in his career, and I think it allowed him to see the game from the outside in, and I think that's kind of helped him this year, being able to play fast and make plays on the field.
And you got kind of an unsung leader on the sideline. Can't play anymore, Mason Baker.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Bagley had to see something in that young man, because you just don't bring any player out as a coach for his senior year of high school.
No, he's
I've never seen that before.
No, yeah, he's a special kid. I talk to him all the time about, that you can tell that he's got a future in it. If that's what he wants. Like you said, expecting a high school kid to be able to handle the maturity level that it takes to do what he does, and he gives great energy on the sideline. He's a guy you can always count on. Again, he comes to me every Friday to remind me to do stuff, print stuff out for him, and so he's ready to go on the sideline. We're very, very lucky that we have kids that, again, any other kid that got injured just wouldn't be out there, and he found a way to. That's how much he cares about the team and cares about the program. Is that he found a way to impact it in a positive way.
But folks, don't get me wrong. When he's on that sideline, his teammates, his classmates, call him coach.
That's right.
And that's the respect that he has earned so far.
That is Coach Baker. Yes, sir.
You got a big district game coming up this week against Crestview. We haven't played them in a few years. Coach Thomas Grant struggling a little bit this year as well. But they got a great defense. Sort of these teams kind of mirror each other a little bit.
Sure.
Very strong defense. The offense is still trying to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, and if you watch them on film, they've had a tough schedule, kind of like we had a tough schedule early in the year. Their offense is explosive. Like you said, I think they're still trying to figure it out on offense a little bit. There's some mistakes here and there, but when you look at the athletes that they have on that side of the football, they play two kids at quarterback, and both of them can run it. And if you don't have a contain guy or spy guy for them every play, then they're out the gate for a touchdown, and they can throw it. So, again, it's just trying to find ways where you can organize the defense to where you're giving those guys problems.
Well, you bring that up about speed at the backfield, but I thought you guys did a very good job of containing Nino Freeman last week at Escambia.
Yeah, it was a very similar issue for us with Escambia. Both of their quarterbacks can run it too. And again, I think with Nino, we were able to kind of create pressure with a four-man front and not have to blitz as much and kind of help us in the secondary a little bit. Gave up some big. That was the big thing last week. Is I thought the defense played well, but you have 4 plays where you can see missed assignments that lead to touchdowns, right? And it's just the big plays that we have to limit.
Well, we've missed Zeke Burgess for a little while.
Sure.
Is he expected to be back this week?
He's expected to be back this week. Yeah. Again, we're trying to get him. It's tough when you're out that long to be able to be in shape to play a full game, but we're hoping that he's a kid that works hard and for being a young kid, he has energy and kind of a special quality to him to where, we're counting on him on Friday. I think he's at least going to start the game, and we'll see what we can get out of him.
And when he fell out, you have a freshman, Jaden
Sure.
Jones, that stepped up.
Sure.
And every week he has just gotten better on the field of play.
Yeah, and it's clear too when I'm sure when teams are watching film on us and they're checking the roster on us, they're going to go after that guy. And for the amount of times that he's been picked on and that teams have gone after him, he's stepped up big time. Stepped up in big situations, had an interception against Milton. And like you said, he's getting better week to week. He's being more physical. He's giving great effort. He's doing everything we're asking him to do. He's going to be an extremely special player for us in the future.
And now and then you have to bring in number 31, Gabe Alonso, who
That's right.
has stepped in when he has to as well.
Yep. No, I love Gabe. I've coached him from his freshman year, and I coached his older brother. Again, he's one of those kids that, it's unfortunate that he's got, kids in front of him that are playing right now, but he's earned his way onto the field too. He plays some special teams for us as well, and we have complete confidence with him when he's out on the field as well.
Most definitely. The season gets off to a slow start, but look at that schedule. I mean, Catholic, Choctaw, Mosley, 3 of the better teams in
Sure.
the 8-5-0, and it doesn't get any easier after that. You go to Tate. What a win that was.
Yeah, that was big.
That night, I think it opened a lot of people's eyes that said, hey, Navarre's not totally gone.
Sure.
They're still there, and I think you guys smelled blood in the water against Tate, and you held on in that game.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to the team, starting out 0-3. A lot of teams would just fold up the tent there. And I think our guys stayed focused. We continued to work. We kind of saw our mistakes that we made against those teams, and we kind of understood that all three of those teams are going to compete for a state championship this year in their classifications.
Most definitely.
And I think our kids just held on, and I think it probably surprised some people for us against Tate being 5-0, but it didn't surprise us. We knew what we were. It didn't. Our record didn't make us who we were, and we just kept working and grinding. And had great practices leading up to that Tate game, and when we took the field and we did what we were expecting to do.
I thought we came out a little flat last week
Yep.
against Escambia, maybe because it was a non-district game,
Sure.
or maybe we were a little too high from the Tate victory.
Yeah.
But it's time to come back on Monday and reset your focus on a Crestview.
That's right.
How have the kids been this week?
Oh, I thought, Coach Bagley said something last week about you can't expect to be average during the week and be special on Friday night.
I love that saying.
That's a great. It fit perfect for last week, and I thought our kids have stepped up to the challenge this week. We've had 3 great days of practice. It seems like the kids have more of a focus and intensity in not only practice but our film preparation as well. Again, I've been proud of them this week. I think we're ready to go, and I'm excited for the challenge.
Let's talk a little bit more about some of the other defensive players.
Yes, sir.
The guy that plays both ways, I think even drives the bus to away games, Andre Spence.
Yeah.
The last 2 out of 3 weeks, he's made big plays on the goal line. A huge forced fumble against Milton 3 weeks ago. Last week, an interception on the one. He just has a knack for the big play.
Yeah, he is the silent assassin. He doesn't say a word. He's not real loud. Me and him he's open and we have fun. Me and him together, but he just is just always about doing his job and being there for the team, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense, whether it's on special teams. And he's been doing that since his sophomore year.
Yeah.
He's been playing 2 ways and playing special teams, and he never says a word about it. You can tell he's gassed, but it doesn't let him affect his play. And again, without him on the field, we're a much worse defense. He brings
solid 5'10", 225 pounds. A lot of people don't know this, but he is the younger brother of Akeem Spence. There's an age difference there, but those that remember Akeem, he actually lived in here in Navarre, but he went to Fort Walton Beach, went on and played at Illinois, and spent a lot of years in the NFL.
I think he might have been senior when I was a sophomore or freshman, but I can remember going to those Fort Walton games.
I think they lived over behind Winn-Dixie, if I remember right. But a lot of people, I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago when I talked with Andre's dad.
He's definitely got the DNA.
most definitely. Another young man, I like to praise this young man, and I don't know anybody that has worked as hard as this young man and has improved so much than Vinny Villanova.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you look at the pictures of Vinny coming in as a sophomore compared to what he is now, just the amount of work that he's put in. And he's one of the most heady players we have. He's a natural football player. He has the instincts. He creates turnovers with those instincts. But he is constantly, when you watch film, again, you could count him in on almost every tackle. He's got a nose for the football. He gives great effort. He's our leader on defense. He gets everybody where they're supposed to be. And again, without him on the field, we would be struggling as a defense. Him and Spence kind of run the show back there at linebacker, and we count on them to be big for us. I count on them as a coordinator to take control and take charge on the field. And I expect them to make some big plays this Friday for us as well.
Well, let's move up to that defensive line. Easy Gasca. You got Bryce Wheeler. I mean, the area has not seen what this young man can do, and they'll see it over the next couple of years. Easy Gasca, from the time that you've inserted him on the starting lineup, he has been nothing but a dog. He's working his way up the tackles for loss in Raider history. I think he's number 7 now all time.
Well, to talk about Gasca is a guy that, again, is a true team guy because coming up as a sophomore and a junior, he's probably played every position available. He's played linebacker. He's played center on JV. He played defensive line, offensive tackle. He's played fullback. And, again, he's finally kind of found his place at that defensive end position, that 5 technique. And, again, I've talked about this with some of the other coaches as well. We have, when you look at us on film, when we look at our size and what we put on film compared to the other teams we're playing, there's no reason guys like Gasca and guys like Cooper Black should be playing as well as they do. But it's just really a testament to how hard they work and all the effort that they put into it, and the amount of passion that they play with puts them in a position to constantly make plays, and they do it every Friday night.
And you got a guy that clogs up the middle here, moved into the Navarre this summer. Jakari Thomas has been a great addition to the defensive line.
We love Jakari. It was a situation trying to get him back and get him here, and just for everything that he's gone through in his life, he's just the best kid. He's the greatest kid to be around. He puts into work. He pays attention to his grades. He does everything you ask him to do. Jakari's been a big help to us on the D-line this year. And then going back to Wheeler, I forget every day that he's a sophomore. And that we, as good as he plays, that we still got him several years down the road. And then the other one is Braxton Barr.
Will Payton.
Yeah, and Will Payton. Yeah, we pushed Barr into the inside last week against Escambia, and he probably had his best game of the year fighting on the inside at the 3 technique.
Four quarterback hurries last week. You guys had 18 quarterback hurries this past week.
Yeah, well, we're hoping to have a lot more. Against Crestview too. Again, like you said, Will Payton is another guy we count on, another senior that's stepped up big for us, and we input and being able to rotate those guys on the front keeps them fresh too, and that's been important for us.
And you got a couple of young guys that are moving into roles, Matthew Lee and,
yep.
And Braden Thiessen.
Yes, sir.
I think look for big things out of Braden in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and again, those guys are sophomores, and they're impacting the game on Friday nights. You just don't see that very often. I think that's something people forget about a lot. Me coaching for a long time, sophomores don't make an impact on Friday nights. If you're counting on sophomores, you're going to lose games. And the amount of sophomores and freshmen, that are making impacts for us, we're going to be problems. I mean, we're problems this year, but we're going to be problems down the road in the future. We have stuff to build on.
That's what I told people earlier and said, what's wrong with Navarre? I said, there's nothing wrong with Navarre. I said, you better get him now because once they're back, they're going to be back for a while.
That's right.
So. But we left off a couple of guys back there in your defensive back. Marquez White.
Yeah, Quez.
Count on him for a lot of different things.
Sure, Quez returns kicks for us. He plays a corner. We kind of challenged him this week to kind of step up and give great effort during the game because he really is a guy that can be a difference maker for us. And when he's on, he's on. So he had his best game last week against Escambia. Had several times where you see him flashing on film. You have, like you mentioned Burgess earlier, he'll be back for us this week. But even like a guy like Strum, and he's our sub linebacker right now, he's going to be special for us in the future as well. We got some young safeties that, again, they just have seniors playing in front of them right now. That's the only reason they're not on the field. And then Josh Wilson, with Cooper being gone last week, stepped in and played. We say it's a new position, but that's what he played last year for us on varsity football. And he kind of stepped in and didn't miss. He had like 11 tackles and just flying around the field, and it shows you how special he is too.
And he runs hard when he's carrying the ball. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Johnny Robinson.
Yeah.
Except you never know which direction Johnny was going.
Right.
That's why those crazy legs of Johnny's.
That's right.
But it's been great having you on tonight. I think this is the first time I've ever had you on.
Yeah, it's first.
This is our second year doing this show, and we look forward to many more years of Navarre football and Wednesday night show here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I appreciate you having me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Brandon Lawson, 2006 alum. Assistant coach started back when?
I started coaching in 2008.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, sir. So I've been doing it for a while.
Most definitely. Welcome to the show,
yes,
Coach.
Sir. Thanks
for
having me.
For a big game Friday night.
Yes, sir.
It's Irish Bill, Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. And next coming up, I think we're going to have Bryce Moore and Mr. Clean as we call him, is going to interview Bryce. You okay? Go right into it.
Welcome back. Can you hear me, Bryce?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. I'm Paul Villanova, PA announcer at the Raymond James Stadium, at the Bennett C. Russell Stadium. With me, I have senior defensive back Bryce Moore.
Yes, sir.
Bryce, I didn't know I was going to be interviewing you, so usually I prepare and have a bunch of questions. But talk to me about how long you've been playing football. Real close to your mouth.
Yes, sir. I started playing when I went freshman year. Yes, sir. So I started playing freshman year. When I was a kid, I played a little bit, but not too much. I didn't start taking it seriously until my freshman year.
Okay. Now, when you were a kid, did you grow up here? I don't know.
Yes, sir. I grew up in Fort Walton Beach.
Okay.
So I played in Shalimar. So, but yeah, I got away from it, and I just came back to it my freshman year because it looked fun. So I decided to try it out, and I've been here since.
You've done a great job. What other sports did you play as a kid?
Baseball. I played baseball for a while till my freshman year, and that's about it. I was good at baseball, so I stuck with it. And well, when I got my sophomore year, I got tired of it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I love football, so I chose to stick with football instead.
I do remember you playing freshman year. You played, right?
With Benny, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I think he played 2 years, right?
Did he play sophomore year?
Sophomore year, and then he didn't play after that.
Yeah.
But well, you were having a great season this year. Last year you played varsity last year too.
I
didn't
did,
you?
yes, sir.
Okay, and to talk about your position, obviously you're a defensive back, but you played. Let everybody know what you do.
Yes, sir. So I'm the weak side safety, basically. So I'm the run fitter to the weak side. I'm also the pass dropper to the weak side. I guess my position would be to play the box and also play the wide side of the field with my eyes, I guess, is the most important part, I would say, for me. But the main thing is just getting your keys and reading your fits and getting to the right place.
So for somebody who might not know football that well, when you say reading your keys and getting your fits, talk in layman terms about. Yeah. I know what it means, but
so the like my key, I guess, say we're playing against a running team. I guess my key would be whoever the tackle is, and say I'm reading whether the tackle does a pass drop or a run set, and whatever he does. That's what I base my alignment. That's what I base the rest of the play off of, basically.
Correct.
So, is say he does a run set, then I have to fit down to the outside, so to force it back into the box. And then if it's a pass drop, then I have to help over the top. Say if there's trips to the wide side of the field, I have to help over the tops, and also to help with the single receiver on the boundary side.
Okay, gotcha. And we're playing Crestview this week. They run
sir.
A lot of they run a spread
yes,
offense, and so how's that fit into what you do?
It's actually it's probably I think one of the hardest for me this week is because I have to I'm having to play the boundary side while also getting back and playing deep middle at the same time. So what's most important this week is for me to read my tackle and not get my eyes elsewhere in the backfield or anything like that, because as soon as I don't read my tackle correctly, then a mistake will be made.
And do they have this week? There will be no mistakes made, right?
No mistakes, not like last week. No.
This week, I know they have a very athletic quarterback. Do they have?
Yes, they do.
How do the receivers look?
They're athletic. I mean, I think our main worry is number 0 means athletic guy, but we'll be fine. We got our corners in, so we shouldn't have a problem, to be honest with you.
Okay. And now, this year it got off to a tough start.
They did.
But I think that's helping us now because we played 3 very good teams. You played Catholic, Choctaw, and Mosley. Mosley 6-0, going to play Niceville this week. And I think, the Milton game kind of found your footing a little bit, and then Tate game was outstanding.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the Escambia game. I thought that was a game we could have, maybe should have won.
I think what it came down to, I mean, the effort was there. It's always there. It's always been there. I think what it comes down to is the fourth quarter and executing. I think that whenever we're good in the first half. I mean, unlike last year, sometimes we were a bit slow in the first half, but I feel like this year we've been more up in the first half. And then coming to the third quarter, we're also up. But the big plays brings it down a lot. And I feel like if we can execute our responsibilities and keep the big plays from happening, then
You'll be on point. I thought in that game, I thought the defensive effort was there.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had a huge stop in the fourth quarter. When the score was 21-18.
Yes, sir.
Stopped them on third and fourth down, and came back out, and we got behind the sticks with a couple of penalties and never quite recovered. And then they came back. I thought in that particular instance, defense got back on the field pretty quick.
Yes.
And you guys can know better than me whether you're tired or not, but Moultrie ran off a big run, and that was pretty much the game.
I mean, that wasn't we weren't tired. It was just a bad fit, I guess.
Okay.
I wouldn't say. We just got mixed up in our fits, and it led to a big run, but it was really much you can do about it.
So, senior, and we'll come back to football for a minute in a little bit, but talk about what you want to do after this year.
Yes, sir. So I want to go to the University of Florida to study pre-dental and become an orthodontist. So
wow, that's pretty impressive goal.
Yes, sir. So I love to play football. I was thinking about like my sophomore year playing football in college, but it doesn't align with what I want to do in the future. So I've decided that I'm not going to pursue college. I mean, I don't really know what I want to do.
You want to pursue college football?
Yeah, no.
How orthodontics? Where did that come from?
So I mean, when I first went to my orthodontist last October, I just liked the idea of giving people opportunities that they couldn't get elsewhere and making them smile and giving them that confidence. And whenever I got my braces, I was also given that confidence. And I think that's been a really big part of my journey myself, and that's even what I wrote my personal statement essay on.
That's great.
So it's just been something I've been interested in, and I like it. Makes good money too, so yeah.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Did you already apply to UF?
Yes, sir. I finished my applications in end of October, so I've done all that. But yeah.
October of last year?
No, this year.
This year, okay.
Yes, sir. So it's been weird juggling school and football. That's already hard enough, but then adding college applications to it has been a struggle.
I can't imagine.
So,
I mean, you guys have a lot of pressure when it comes to that stuff. But you already take the ACT?
Yes, sir.
How'd you do on that?
I got a 31 composite score.
Wow, that's fantastic. Great job. So you've already qualified for 100% bright
Yes,
futures?
sir, I did. So that's a good thing. I just got to find a way to pay for boarding.
Yeah, true. And first you got to get accepted,
right?
Get
accepted, right,
get in. What other schools are you thinking of applying to?
I'm applying to FSU, UCF, USF, just the main schools in Florida that are bigger.
Sure.
I wanted to go to a bigger school, so those are the main schools I've applied to.
My oldest daughter, who you even probably know that Vinny had an older sister. I obviously know Sophia, but his older sister went to University of Florida, and it wasn't the right fit for her. She ended up transferring to Southern Mississippi, but because it is a huge school.
It is, yeah.
She went to Pensacola High, had the IB program there, and then. Anyway, so back to football. You guys started the year off with going to that camp up in Munson. Give me your one favorite story or one worst story from that camp.
I think it was our first night. There was we had spiders in our cabin, and I'm sound asleep. Like I'm on the side. There's no spiders or anything in my side, but they're in the other side. They're tripping the whole night. So I wake up. Or they wake me up screaming because a spider fell on somebody.
Oh,
and
man.
They screamed.
In a dream? Or
no, it happened, yeah. So a spider fell on somebody. And then everyone got up and started screaming. It was a good time. I mean, it was a new experience for all of us, but I feel like it was a great team bonding. So we had a great time there. I mean, at least I did. I had a good time. It was hot.
Who was the leader of your
I mean, we had Vinny.
Oh, you were in Vinny's cabin?
Yeah, it was Vinny, me, and Braxton. So, I mean, no, it was fun, yeah.
It was fun.
Whether they say it was, like, not what they were used to or not, or it was, like, uncomfortable, we all had a good time.
And I think that was the point.
At the end of the day.
Coach Bagley, at the end of it, I remember he came back and he said, we accomplished what we wanted to, which was making guys feel uncomfortable and have guys hang out with guys they normally don't hang out with. And I got to go up there like a couple weeks before you guys did and help clean it.
Yeah.
And it was really bad when we went up.
Yeah.
But hey, you're a senior. You don't have to do it again. And these guys.
I don't. I was like, we were leaving. We got our phones. We were getting on the bus. I was like, hey, y'all have a good time next year.
Talk to me about how did you go 3 days without a phone? Or are you hooked on your phone like most?
Nah, I was like. I got a break from my girlfriend, so that's always a plus.
Hope she's not watching.
Oh, well. No, it was, I mean, and I forgot my book too, so that was really the bad thing about it. But
A book to read, you mean?
yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, I was just stuck there doing nothing basically at night when I could have been reading or doing something. But no, we had people to talk to the whole night, so it was a good time.
Cool. All right, I asked this question to everybody, and I've gotten 2 answers consistently. So who's the funniest guy on the team? Big pause.
Wait, I can't think of that.
Who do you think the funniest person on the team is? You don't have to think about who I think it is. But.
Can I pick 2?
Yeah, you can pick 2.
I hang out with John Bessalou and Curtis Sanders a lot.
Okay.
And I feel like they're fun. I mean,
funny, the funniest, like the
funniest of them all, like joking funny, or
yeah,
just
joking
like,
funny,
hey,
joking funny.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the answers I usually get. I get Braxton.
Oh, yeah, that's up there.
And Zeke.
Okay, yeah, Zeke. Okay, I forgot about Zeke. My fault, Zeke. Nah, he's a goofball. So
he's funny. I tell this story all the time. He's over to the house early in the season, and I see him come in, and he ducks down, and he's like, I'm like, Zeke. He's like, I'm hiding. How'd you know it was me? I'm like, Zeke, your hair sticks up about 4 inches over the counter.
Yes.
And funny. All right, back to football for a second. Big game coming up, district game. What do you know about Crestview outside of them running the spread? And I think they're 2-4 going in. They played a little bit different schedule than us.
Yes. They're a good team. It's a district game, so it's always going to be tough. I mean, but I think that we're going to win, to be honest. I think our effort will out-effort them, and that if we execute and we do our jobs, then it should be.
Should win. And I don't want to look too far ahead, but you win that game,
yes,
and then go to Gulf Breeze. You play them for the Beach Bowl, and the week after that you got Pace, which would end up being the district championship game.
Yes,
would be. They have a chip on their shoulder because they look at us like we kept them out of the playoffs last year. They finished 8-2 last year and didn't make it because we beat them. And all right, what do you like to do? The final question: what do you like to do outside of? You study a lot. You do well in school. What do you do for fun?
Hang out with friends. I enjoy hanging out, especially people from football, like outside of school, outside of football. I mean, it's as long we laugh all the time, we have a great time, but it also helps us on the field, right? Because our chemistry. Josh Wilson, good buddy of mine. We've been friends since my sophomore year.
Great player too.
Friends. Yeah, so whenever we're both on the field, I feel like because we've done so much off the field that it's affected our play on the field for the better. So I feel like, and Curtis Sanders too. We've been good buddies since junior year. So
it's funny you mentioned Curtis. I was doing a show with Irish Bill last night, and we were talking about the number of sophomores and juniors that you guys have coming up. I mean, think about it. I mean, Bryce Wheeler and Thiessen on the line, and you got Gilbert in the backfield, and Jaden Jones is a freshman, and they're going to be good. I know it's your senior year, and it's tough to go through a senior year with the start we had, but the programs are going to be back on track. And I think it already is. So.
I think so. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing the team be better than it was this year, hopefully.
Yep.
And be productive. So,
watching you guys from game one back in the Catholic game to where you are now, it's night and day.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, and I firmly believe you're going to go out and.
Right. I think we will too. I think we have a good shot at district championship play. Three-peat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, three-peat, back to back to back.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait to see Coach Hemme on the sideline going back to back.
Yes, sir.
After you guys beat Tate, Vinny texted me within 2 minutes. He said, "Hey, can you find that video of Coach Hemme? Count us out. And, so and then back to back. So I can't wait to play that again.
Yeah,
so.
I think we're underdogs, to be honest. I mean,
yeah.
After our start, I think that going into Pace Week, not necessarily Gulf Breeze Week, but Pace Week will be underdogs, and the week after that, and from then on to the end of the season,
yeah,
we'll be underdogs.
And we, again, don't want to get too far ahead. We got to win this one first against Crestview, and I think you guys will have your walkthrough tomorrow or your Thursday morning practice, and then get some rest tomorrow night and come out Friday.
We will.
Ready to play. I love watching number 16 hit people out there.
Yes, sir. I love it too.
Yeah, it's good. Well, hey, that had Bryce Moore, senior defensive back for the Navarre Raiders. Thank you for being on.
Sir. Thank you.
And we'll be back for the next segment of the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show.
All right.
Thank you, Bryce.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so we're live. I'm glad I'm alive. This is Seminole Bob here at Buffalo Wild Wings, the coaches show. Wednesday night, every Wednesday night. We appreciate Buffalo Wild Wings having us. This is our second year. And my guest is the handsome one in the picture, Cooper Black. Cooper, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too.
We missed you last week. Cooper's mom, Colonel Black, received a huge award.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We got a trip to Colorado to the Air Force Navy game. It sucked. It sucked watching the game from the plane and not being on the field.
We sure could have used you. Not that your teammates didn't do well. It's just you add another dimension back there.
Yes, sir.
What is your position? Is it corner or safety, pre-safety, strong safety?
I'm a strong safety.
That's strong safety. Yeah, I bet you are strong. Cooper Black's brother played for the Raiders.
Yeah, he was a strong safety as well.
That's right. Are you wearing the same number? I don't remember.
No, I'm not. He was number 2 last year.
Okay. So tell when did you start playing football?
I played the first year I ever played was I think it was 7U, and it was only one season. I don't know. I just didn't like it that much back then.
Was it here in Navarre?
It was at the NYSA. And then coming into freshman year, my brother convinced me to join the football team, and I was like, okay, sure. And I was a corner for the first 2 years,
right?
two and a half years, kind of. Then I got moved to safety, and I played a little bit of linebacker last year before I got hurt. But now I'm a safety, and I love it.
What's the difference? Corners cover.
Yeah, I mean, with how we run it, I'm playing the run game a lot more than I am the pass game. But I am, anytime we're in man, I'm designated a man, so I do have my share of man coverage. I think corner, definitely easily like the hardest position on the field, but it's a lot simpler compared to safety. You're having to make a lot more reads at safety,
right?
React a lot faster. Make sure you know what you're doing. It takes some time to really learn it.
Some say that safeties are like the on-field coach or the quarterback.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Me, Bryce, and Vinny is too. One of our middle linebackers.
Yeah.
We're the ones usually getting the calls around, communicating, getting checks.
Well, a 4-2-5 is a whole lot different than you were playing. You were playing a 3-4.
Yeah, it is a lot different. We're strong safety. We're kind of like from like this year compared to last year. We're a little like further down in the box. We're not playing up high,
right?
Like we were. That's what we have our dog for,
right?
On the boundary side. So yeah, it's a lot different. I think it works. I like it. I think it goes well with our team, our players. So yeah.
Last year with the 3-4, you were able to cover a whole lot of field, sideline to sideline. I see teams kind of taking advantage of that in the 4-2-5. My understanding with the 4-2-5 is we were anticipating playing a lot of passing teams.
Yeah,
is that what it is? Or was just the scheme that coach wanted to play?
Kind of the scheme. Like we kind of want to get it to the outside,
right.
Kind of bounce it out there and make the plays towards the sidelines. I think our corners are good at tackling, and our corners are playmakers.
Yep.
Same with our spurs that'll be outside and getting out there. To
Who are
set
your
the
corners
edge.
this year?
It is Ezekiel Burgess.
Yeah.
Um,
And he's been hurt, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's back this week. This is his first week back from Choctaw. He got injured in the Choctaw game. And Marquez White, and then we also have Jaden Jones.
Jaden Jones is taking Burgess's place as a freshman.
Yeah,
he's a true freshman. He's a freshman, ninth grade. He's done really well, and Marquez has just really come onto his own in kickoff returns, and that's an area I think we missed you, special teams, last week. But it's a once in a lifetime activity. Seeing your mom, get a prestigious award like she has. My guest is Cooper Black. What has been the preparation? Coach talked about at times last week we came out a little flat. And what's it been? Pretty focused this week getting ready for a district game?
Yes, we've been more focused this week, a lot more than we were last week. I was at practice all week last week, so I was able to help out, able to make sure Josh was able to know what he was doing to get ready for the game.
That's good, yeah.
This week, I think we went into Escambia a little bit down, not really thinking that we could do a whole lot because they've got some athletes, but we proved that wrong for the first 3 quarters of the game. It was a close game. I think that last drive or last couple drives, we kind of got a little flat. Maybe it was too overconfident. But this week we've been going at it. We've been working hard. Weight room, out on the field, at the track, running, everything. I think we're ready for this game against Crescent.
Good, yeah. We haven't played the Bulldogs in a little while, but they're known to be a physical team. Last time we played them, Tyler England had a two-way player, had game of his life. He had like 4 touchdown receptions and 3 interceptions on defense. And that's what Navarre's starting to get known for is their secondary, and you join that club. They say safety's hit. Do you like hit?
Love hitting.
I bet you do.
That's that's one of my favorite parts about safety. Like getting moved from corner to safety is just the involvement in like getting tackles, hitting. I think that's one of the reasons I started playing football is because I get to hit
and not be hit. But when he returned, teams have been trying to stay away from Marquez on kickoff returns, and sometimes they pooch it, sometimes they just kick it short. And this guy, was it the Tate game you had the 30-yard returns?
Yeah, that was the Tate game.
That's crazy. People don't understand. I mean, that was a huge win. Probably one of the biggest in Navarre history. Yeah, Navarre's gone to the Final Four and all that, but from where we started.
Yeah, like coming back from that losing record, being 0-3. I think winning the Milton game had a big role in kind of getting our confidence up and our mood up. I think the coaches said it too. We played a far from perfect game against Milton, but we were still able to come out on top, and we were still able to make some plays, which helped going into Tate. And Tate, I think we played it well in just about every aspect of the field.
Oh, yeah. And Roman nailed the RPOs, nailed them, and that certainly helped. But our defense came up big. Last couple questions I want to ask you. You're a senior.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do? Do you want to play on the next level?
I'm not sure how it's going to go football-wise. I'm a little 5'9" white kid. Not sure how many football colleges are super interested in that. Yeah. But I do Olympic weightlifting. So right now I'm reaching out to colleges and talking to some coaches to try and get a scholarship for weightlifting.
Have you had any colleges contact you?
I have. There was a Heston College. It's a smaller college. They reached out to me.
Good.
Said they were interested, but it's a little harder because there aren't a whole lot of. There's only like 15 to 20 colleges in the U.S. that offer scholarships for weightlifting. So it's kind of a like tedious thing to try and like find
your niche.
Yeah.
What do you want to study? Whether you play football or you do weightlifting or.
I want to do something along the lines of like sports and body, like sports medicine probably. Kind of get to know the human body. I want to prepare myself for. I'm planning on going in as an officer into the military after college.
Good for you! Wow, little influence.
Yeah, a lot of influence.
Did anyone from the Air Force Academy, did they know that you played football?
Some did. We didn't know a whole lot of people up there. It was mostly my mom knew a lot of people, but
administrative side rather than football side.
Yeah. But no, it was pretty cool getting to know a lot of the that got to know the athletic director up at the Air Force Academy, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it never hurts to reach out and say, "Hey, listen, thanks. My mom thanked you. I just want to thank you, and if you're ever in need of a hard-hitting defensive back."
Yeah.
My guest has been Cooper Black, senior, strong safety for the Navarre Raiders. Look what B.B. Brown did. I mean, he was going to college in South Florida, and then all of a sudden he's now a cheerleader for Alabama.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
I know. It's crazy.
Well, good for you. Cooper Black, good in the classroom, good on the field. We look forward to Friday night at home at Bennett C. Russell Stadium. We'll be on top of the roof. He'll be down on the field crushing some bodies. My guest has been Cooper Black. Let's take a break. You're listening to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Good job. Great. It was nice meeting you. Oh, nice meeting you. Oh, Bill, I've got good news.
Good news, bad news. You know what? I when we brought Coach Lawson on, I said, for a man that doesn't need any introduction, I said, drum roll, please. He liked that.
Cool. That's the first time we've had him on, Bill.
Most definitely, and that's the first time that we've had Cooper. We had Connor Black on last year.
Yep.
First time we had Bryce Moore and Coach Lawson. I mean, all three new to the show, and won't be the last time that they come on as well. So how'd your interview go with Cooper?
Very well spoken. I mean, wants to go in the military. He said, I asked him about, do you want to play at the next level? And he said, yes. But I don't know how many colleges are looking for a 5'9", 185-pound.
But with the energy plus, though. And
the intangibles. I mean,
and he has a mom that's a retired colonel.
Yep.
And just got a big award, the John Chapman Award, this past weekend.
Yep.
At halftime of the Air Force Navy game. They said the trip was great going out there and back. We're going to have, announced earlier, we're going to have Jack, but we're going to hold off on Jack, and we're going to get him and Cade in a couple of weeks, get both of our kickers, and bring in Jacob Bishop as well, so we can bring all the special teams players in at the same time.
All right.
So we're gonna finish up the show. Not yet. We got more to talk to. I mean, come on. It's only 9:09. 9-10 now. But anyways, once again, thank you to all of our viewers out there tonight. Tim Keene, Deborah. We basically have shut the doors on them.
You guys were so mean last night. They didn't tease you when Notre Dame lost.
And I would have took it because we took that L, and they actually deserved that L. And but I tell you, it wasn't that Alabama gave them the game. It was Vanderbilt that took the game.
Yeah, that's the story.
From the onset.
They really didn't allow Alabama to be Alabama. And everyone knows the story now. They tore down the goalposts, carried it down to the river, threw it in the river.
Is it still floating?
What's that?
Is it still floating down the river?
No. Vanderbilt University. That's why they're Vanderbilt University, folks. They think outside of the box. The university officials fished it out of the river. They're going to cut it up, sell it to boosters, and
that's a great idea
to pay for their fine
the last
for
time
rushing the field.
They're Vanderbilt. They would think of that. But anyways,
I wouldn't have.
That was the best I've seen Vanderbilt play in a long time, since those couple of years where they upset Florida. But other than that, they were ahead the whole game, and that's the first time that Alabama has not had a lead in a game since 2018.
I didn't get to comment on that. This Vanderbilt Kentucky was a tough game to pick. I think Vanderbilt's going to have a little bit of a letdown. Kentucky is at home. That's the only reason I picked Kentucky. But I can see. I think Coach Jimmy Ray Stevens used to call him Wonderbilt.
I remember Jimmy Ray when he was at Fort Walton Beach and won a couple of state titles before he moved on to UF.
He used to call Pine Forest Pine Fungus among us.
He had some great teams, great coaching staff there at Fort Walton Beach in the early 90s. I mean, great players like Danny Werfel and E.G. Green. So they had some great talent that went through there. And the people say, well, it was all Danny. No, they had a team that year, and then nobody really came close to them that year as well. That was my first year here in the Panhandle in 1991, and Navarre didn't have a school at that time, so we didn't have a team to follow him. Brenda Kay and I liked our football, so we decided to go to a Fort Walton Beach football game. I think it was mid to end of September, and they said, well, you got to watch this young man, Danny Werfel. I said, okay. Ended up, we followed them all the way to the state tournament. Went down to they played at the Swamp.
Yep, I was there.
And they manhandled St. Thomas Aquinas in the second half of that ball game.
Was Danny's father was a military chaplain? Was he in your squadron?
He was actually the chaplain of our. He wasn't in our squadron, but he was a chaplain for our squadron.
I see.
So he would come to all the commanders' calls and everything, and when you're in a squadron of helicopter dudes, the language is not always clean. And so Chaplain Werfel sometimes just be in the back just shaking his head. But those are great memories for me over the last 33 years I've been a part of APSOC. And fortunately, I'm gonna wind down the end of March. I'm looking for more adventures, and hopefully, I'm thinking about maybe broadcasting softball this spring, because I'll have the time to do it. And if you're around, I would love to have you do some softball games with me.
Hey, can I say, hey, bada, swing? Can I say that?
I don't know if you can.
Okay. What rank was? Was it?
He was
captain?
a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel Werfel. I thought that's what it.
And a street named for him out in Destin.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they lived at that time. Destin players went to Fort Walton Beach.
Right. Still do. Some still do.
And now that Destin has their own high school,
it's a charter
school.
Yeah.
And football, it's good to see that they got a football program going on. They got their first win last week, an upset win over Bozeman last week, 24-21.
Okay.
And I already talked about their coach, E.G. Green. He's out there at Destin right now,
Right.
and got to see that. What a heck of a receiver that young man was, and his dad was incredible. Passed away here, I think, a couple of years ago. E.G. Green Sr. Was an assistant principal over at Fort Walton Beach High School, and a great family there.
Vivian, longtime employee of the Okaloosa County School District, primarily worked in the pre-K area, was a district staff member, and when Vivian walked in, you listened to what she said, not because of her title, just because she knew what she was talking about. And I think I told you the story. First time I met E.G., he was 6 years old, playing in an U8 flag football at the Y. And flag football, when you have 8 kids, sometimes you play both ways. Well, E.G. intercepted a lateral. And ran it back.
Ran all the way back.
Yeah. And I had to chase him. We were playing over at, because the Y in Fort Walton had not been built yet. We played at Choctaw's Fields. And so anyway, that was my introduction to the Green family.
And you know, we haven't heard from Joe tonight, because you know, over at Niceville, he is a part of the.
I hear something saying.
Sam Cook.
He's a part of the what?
The Chain Gang.
That's right.
Oh, he'll get to
That's
be
a classic, isn't it? Sam Cook.
He'll get to be
working on the chain.
Gang. That's Pick Wizard Joe Settles.
Is that like his walk-up song?
Yeah.
And Paul has his. I heard you
Mr.
play
Clean.
that
I played
last
Mr. Clean last night.
Oh my gosh! I took a sip of Coke and I think I spit it all over the windshield. Laughed so hard.
We've been trying to come up with a nickname for Paul, and BC Paul is just not flashy enough, so it's got to be Mr. Clean.
And yeah, the inside joke of that was at the Niceville game when all the players were sick. He the next morning, the sickness continued not only on the sidelines, on the bus, and in the locker room. Bill and a bunch of boosters and moms went and cleaned the locker room.
It was not a fun night.
No.
And it was necessary though. But anyway, so you got Seminole Bob, you got the Pick Wizard Joe Settles as part of our little group that we have. We do our picks every week.
We have a napkin for that?
I need one right now.
Here,
did somebody say Sneeds? Oh, Sneeze. But
hey,
anyways,
listen, I got a bone to pick with you.
Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second. I got to tell you who our winners were. For those that don't turn on Tuesday night, first question that I have is, why not? But anyways, those that don't, the overall leader for high school picks after week 7, Joe has a 150-33 record. He's got a 9-game lead over me, which I don't think I'm going to catch him. Paul's 10 games back, and
17.
You're down around the Mendoza line.
17, yeah.
17 games back. That's for high school. And for college, we're a little bit closer. I got a 5-game lead over Joe. Joe's got a 3-game lead over you and Paul. So we're within 8 games, and that could fluctuate every weekend. But
yeah,
Joe won both college and high school last week. 20-5 in high school, 19-9 in college picks last week. But
and what's strange is I do the most research.
You do. Maybe you're thinking too much, Bob.
Well, I mean, like Dixie County, for instance, right?
Where is Dixie County?
I have no idea. It's in Dixie. Dixie, I think they're Ophir. I looked on Max Preps.
Well, let's look up and see where Dixie is at. In the
wish I was in a land of cotton, no good time, long forgotten. Look away.
Let's see where it's at.
Look away, Dixieland.
It is.
I'm trying to kill airtime.
I know you are.
Not very well.
It's as you go around the bend.
Near Cross City.
It's west of Gainesville.
Wow.
So I believe it's on Highway 1998 that runs along the coast.
Okay.
So that's Dixie, and then they're playing. Who are they playing this week? Oh, Bluntstown.
Yeah.
So that's not really a long trip for Bluntstown. The
Oh,
Bluntstown's
my God.
over there as well. But we're going to see how many games the Hurricane Milton, not the team up to the north, but the actual hurricane named Milton. How much damage he's going to do in the central part of Florida. It may cancel quite a few games again. And why does he wait till Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days before kickoff high school football games? Isn't that rude?
Yeah, especially during district time, too.
Yeah.
It's not like games can be canceled. Those are district games that got to be played. So it's forcing teams to play Monday, Friday.
Monday, Friday, and that's the only option that they can do that because they're and that's one of the things that I believe in the state FHSA that they have guidelines that said these are the dates that you can play, and if you get too far, you kind of have to reschedule the other game. So, anyway, great week of picks last week, and great interviews tonight. Coach Brandon Lawson.
What did he have to say?
Go back and watch.
I will.
He had a lot. He had a lot to say, and it was fun talking with him because, like I said, I remember when he played.
Right.
In 2005, his senior year, and then the next year, Coach Bagley came in as an assistant coach in 2006. So, and then he brings Coach Lawson back, and he's been a part of Navarre coaching staff for as long as I know.
I think that's important, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, when you want to start tradition.
But there was also some other coaches that have been here for a while. Greg Taylor, 26 years. He was at Navarre High School. He was under the very, very first head coach at Navarre, Kenny Hughes. And then went on from there. Kenny Hughes was the first head coach. Danny Williams came in after that for 3 years. Larry Olson. The Chad Lashley, assistant coach over at Catholic. Now his son Gavin playing for the Crusaders. Jay Walls, 12 years, the longest tenured head coach at Navarre. And now Garrett Bagley with 7 state titles, 6 women's weightlifting titles, and 1 men's. It's a great job, a maker of young men.
Yep. And one of my favorite assistant coaches besides Alex Adams, Tom Lentz.
Tom Lentz, the former professional wrestler.
Right. Taught at Navarre Middle, PE, for a good number of years. I often would sub for Tom when he had to be out. Coached my son in cross country. And
was George a good runner?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. You have to, at least back then, they have X number of kids on the team.
Right.
And so the top 10 each week that ran the fastest on running day or the competition day would be varsity, and the next 10 would be JV. And George was always 9 or 10. Sometimes he'd get bumped to JV. But his first meet when he ran top 10, well, I think was as a freshman. Or maybe he was a sophomore. But it was over at Pace. I'd never been to a cross-country meet.
They're fun to watch.
And they said, don't walk near the finish line afterwards. I'm going, what's that about? I'm going to go congratulate my son. I found out why.
You moseyed over and got ran over, probably, right?
No, it was the Patriot meet, a big one at the beginning of the year. It was like the sidelines in Niceville. A lot of runners lost their breakfast.
Okay. That's why they told you not to go over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we got a big game Friday night.
Yeah, Coach Grant, no relation.
Thomas.
Great name. Yeah, Thomas Grant. Great name. I mean, you're looking at Navarre at one another, 2-4.
That's one thing that I brought up with Coach Lawson. Both teams that bring back a lot on defense, that have an offense still trying to find their identity.
Yeah, I asked Cooper that. How'd practice go? And he said they seemed very focused. And, Coach emphasized, the district game, the importance of it. And for a senior, it's if you're into sentimentality, that's my big word for the day, sentimentality. If you're into sentimentality, you could say, okay, well, this is the last time I'm going to lace it up against Tate or Mosley or last homecoming game. Not too many left, and certainly a district championship, considering how bad we started.
Well, I like to say that Coach Bagley, I think it was Friday night, an interview with Brian Lester. Brian does a great job with the Navarre press, covering Pace, Milton, and Baker and Jay and Crestview, and I mean he does a great job. He said, Coach goes, you can't be average at practice all week and expect to be great on Friday nights. I think that's a great saying. And
I watching YouTube. They were interviewing an old Bobby Knight interview.
Oh no. Was it rated PG that night?
No, they asked him about motivation. How do you motivate the kids? He says, you know what motivates kids? Especially in basketball. Sitting them on the bench. If they don't respond to that, then maybe they don't need to be in your program. So, yeah. Motivation is not going to be a factor Friday night.
Not at all, and it's a big district matchup between they haven't been in the same district for a few years. But it should be a great matchup Friday night. The Bulldogs come to Bennett C. Russell Stadium Friday night. My daughter Brooke is bringing Jared to his first game Friday night. So Gigi will watch Sadie at home and watch the game at home, and then Brooke will be bringing my 21-month-old grandson Jared to his very first football game on Friday night.
Awesome sauce.
Most definitely.
And if Raider Raleigh doesn't show up, she could – no.
I think she'll have her hands full with Jared.
Really? Literally.
But anyways, not on the show last night. You had other things, other priorities. So we didn't get to do Grant's Rants. Do you have a Grant's Rants for me tonight?
Grant's Rants. I do.
Keep it PG.
Yeah. Oh no. I listen. Life's too short to get. Well, I do get upset.
A little fired up at times.
A little hangry.
I've known you for a while now.
Just very simply, people who make laws for schools, many of them, vast majority of them, both on the state level and the federal level, have never stepped foot in a classroom. So you want to know about what it's like to be a teacher, come spend the day with
A real teacher.
107 middle schoolers. Some of them are. I think the future Speaker of the House in 3 years, one of the first female Speaker of the Houses, is a teacher or a retired teacher. So, and that goes for anything in life. You know, until you step foot in somebody's shoes, I mean, yeah. Be careful about pointing fingers because you got 3 of them pointing right back at you. So to the legislators, and the community, listen to teachers, okay? There are other professions, and by the way, all the professions, whether you be a mogul, that's another word for the day, mogul like Donald Trump, or a U.S. Senator like, or Vice President like Kamala Harris. What do they have in common? They both were taught by teachers, whether it be private school teachers or public school teachers. So public school teachers and private school teachers, homeschool moms and dads, they teach everyone how to read and write and all. So the real heroes, I'm not patting myself on the back. Trust me, you know.
So you're not the fortunate one.
I'm not.
I had to play that song in there.
I'm not the fortunate one. Yeah, exactly.
And there's a reason that I always have a reason why I play a song, and I get a lot of kind words thrown my way about what we do. This is because we're a team, and but you know what? As I tell everybody, I'm just a person that's here to tell these young men stories, and I am truly blessed. Bob and I are truly blessed to be able to cover Navarre football. Not any place I'd rather be than where I am right now, because we got some great youth here in Navarre, and I see a lot of them go on and for bigger and better things in the future.
And we hope the audience, and I'm sure, and they do. You got a nice email from a dad who's an
insurance adjuster.
Scott, is that the same Scott who coached Navarre?
No, it was. This is actually different. Bryce Wheeler's dad, okay. Scott.
He's out doing his job as an adjuster, and those are the reasons why, we do this. But and I know the community knows this. There ain't nobody in Northwest Florida that does what we do. And tonight's show was really an idea by Coach Jay Walls.
It was.
It wasn't anything we did. He did a lot of the groundwork and handshaking and smiling and your relationship with the owners of Culver's certainly helped.
I've known them, Randy and Randy, a long time. We were in the 20th SOS years ago together, and what a great job they're doing. And you know what? A lot of people don't know. I don't know if he wants me to share this, but Randy has been battling cancer for about the last 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll never, if you talk to him, you'll never know that he is. Awesome man. Honey does a great job with all 3 of those businesses. The Culver's in Navarre, Fort Walton Beach, and Destin on Highway 98.
They did some business last night.
Yeah, they did. That place was packed. I almost couldn't find a table to do my show. But
from the front seat of Bill Hamill's car.
I was about ready to go out to the patio, but it's still a little too warm for the patio. So we'll get out there one of these nights before the season ends, and we'll do the show from out there on a Tuesday night. And Wednesday night, like I said, this week's 7 already. And it's week 8, I believe, for high school football.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We miss it so much, and then
we do a countdown, start 125 days out. And it seems like that takes forever. then we get to the season, it's like, whoop, where'd it go? It's like a streaker running down the road. You're the only one that missed it. And here we go. He's just in the mood to run in the nude.
Oh, that's funny. They call him the streak.
No, that's you get my point.
Yep.
Is the season you wait, anticipation, and then the season goes by in a blink of an eye.
Anticipation.
But what we don't lose sight of is how this community, these young men, have become memories in our minds, and we get to experience. There's Hunter, and
is that Hunter Feaster?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hunter Feaster.
And I think that's Hunter.
So curious.
What's that?
What are you guys broadcasting?
That's not Hunter
No.
Feaster. We thought you were.
You look like somebody we know. We do a coaches show here on Wednesday nights, a coaches show with one of our football coaches, and we bring some players out and as well. And we it goes great every Wednesday night.
What do you have stream on YouTube?
YouTube, Irish Bill Sports Live on the YouTube and irishbillsports.com. And we've been doing this for a couple of years. We do a show over on Tuesday nights at Culver's. Irish Bill's Twist on Sports. We talk a little high school, college football. And but Wednesday nights is basically for the coaches and the players at Navarre High.
Thank you guys for supporting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He does look a little bit like Hunter, doesn't he?
He does.
But Hunter's up at Maryville College with Jackson Spalla.
I don't think Hunter's old enough to drink yet.
No.
So, yeah, we, without you all, and we cherish our friends, and we tease our Alabama fans and Deborah
But we love you guys.
Oh, yeah, they're here through thick and thin, sickness and health.
But that's what brings us all together is a common passion for this game that we call football.
Absolutely. I mean, and Navarre High School in particular, I would not have gotten to meet Deborah or Darkwing.
Tim Keene, and
not through.
And if you wouldn't have messaged me on a Thursday night before the 2018 season, I think it was 18 or 19, and the night before, you guys probably know the story already. I get a message on Messenger. Bob Grant sends me a message. Hey, have you found a broadcast partner yet? I said, no, you're hired. Those were my exact words.
You had me on the show
the previous year.
Yeah, we're talking about the Fort Walton days.
Yeah,
and I missed it a lot. I missed the camaraderie, but we got a big game Friday night. And the good news is we're at home.
In fact, the next 3 out of 4 are at home, so our longest road trip now is down to Gulf Breeze next Friday night, down yonder.
We'll make a left and go down to the convenience
about
store.
17 miles.
Bill, I'll tell you what, I love you so much you don't have to pick me up Friday night.
Wow.
In fact, 3 out of the next 4 weeks, you don't have to pick me up because I weigh too much. Last week was long.
It was a long week.
Yeah.
Long Friday night.
We stopped and got something to eat, and by the time you get home, and
it's always nice for those home games, though.
It is. We apologize to those who last week's show. Electrical outlets were hard to come by, so we joined in to
Scambia coaching staff upstairs.
Coaching staff, and so when they were ready to go,
zip.
Yeah.
What was that again, Bill?
Navarre coaches who's in charge of the managers who do our filming. He says, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "No." I said, we got unplugged. So
it's all good that we got all the game in, and we got our players of the week, our players of the game.
Mhm.
Our Ian Lockwood player of the game was Andre Spence.
Right.
Our offensive player of the game was from Escambia, Moultrie. Our defensive player of the game was Vinny Villanova, and our special teams player of the game was Jack Byer. So if you didn't catch it on Friday night or last night, once again, if you're not watching on Tuesday night, why not?
Well, Coach talked about. I do listen to show when I'm not on.
I know you do, because you commented on our show last night.
Yeah, you were really razzing Florida State. So,
don't they deserve it this year, Bob?
What?
Don't they deserve it this year?
No one deserves it.
No, I mean a little bit of razzing.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the way that they're playing.
Yeah, we stink. What's that smell?
I was wondering. I did take a shower this morning.
Crestview, big contest.
I haven't met
veteran
Coach Grant in person, so hopefully I'm going to get a chance to meet Coach Grant Friday night.
That'd be great. Return a lot on defense. Got a like
Zeke Burgess will be back Friday night.
I saw that. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to work that rotation in with
Cooper Black's going to be back. That was the reason Josh played the position that he did last week, because Cooper was gone.
I'm wondering how they're going to work in the freshman this spell, because he's played so well.
Most definitely. But I know Coach Bagley and the rest of his coaching staff have a plan. It's good to hear that Zeke is back healthy again. And he had a lot of good things to say about most of the defensive side of the ball, but he really liked that Jakari Thomas is back healthy and back out there clogging up the middle.
Most definitely. And we hope that we can see Roman and the offense get their mojo. There's another word for you today. Mojo back.
You know what that sound means?
Time to hit the road.
Time to hit the
Jack.
road.
Hit the road.
And you know we like to sing this song a little bit, so I'm going to turn it up so you don't have to hear us sing it. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me this countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view.
Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. The chores.
The stars. Fresh air.
Times Square.
You're my wife.
Goodbye, city life. Green Acres, we are
there.
And we were here tonight at Buffalo Wild Wings for the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Until Friday night from Bennett C. Russell Stadium, this is Irish Bill and Seminole Bob signing off.
Good night, Navarre, and God.